We all know about the live-action 1987 He-Man Masters of the Universe film. But did you know there was another live-action He-Man before that? Let's talk about it. Well, welcome back to the Junk Room, everybody. It's me, the Junkman, coming back at you with another video. Today we're going to talk about the other live-action He-Man, the one that hit stages before Master of the Universe movie in 1987. We all remember that movie released by Canon Films. One thing, it came a few years too late. Sales of the toy line was already on a rapid decline. No, it had nothing to do with because boys didn't want to buy toys that their sister had, She-Ra, or whatever the rumor is. Did a whole video on that. As I said, the movie came a little too late, and let's be honest, it just wasn't good. And for kids that grew up on the cartoon, or maybe reading the comics, it just didn't feel like He-Man. It didn't fit with the story that we all knew for years before. But in 1986, there was a whole different live-action He-Man roaming across America. And by 1987, it had made its way to New York City. There it sold out 18 days in a row, a record that still, today, hasn't been beaten.
From the far reaches of the universe to Radio City Music Hall, the magic and fantasy come to life in the ultimate family adventure. The Masters of the Universe Power Tour. See He-Man and She-Ra. Meet the forces of Skeletor and Hordak. Will curtain prevail? See the exciting jet skate competition. See the spectacular Eternian Circus theatrical celebration. Opening live at Radio City Music Hall February 12th. The Masters of the Universe.
Not only was He-Man on stage in live form, so was all his friends and villains. You had He-Man, of course. You had Skeletor, Beastman, Man-at-Arms, Orko with legs. And of course you had She-Ra, Evil Lyn, and a lot more. And it wasn't just the live-action characters. Nope, Castle Grayskull was on stage, parts of Eternia, and so much more from the planet we all loved as kids. Now this is the part of the video where I tell you the whole story, but it's kind of hard to follow. I mean, you've got a lot going on. You got heroes and villains rolling around on skates. You got a new character with a guitar. I'll just try to go over it best I can. The show will start using a video screen to introduce the character, and then each character would appear on stage coming out of some dragon thing and smoke. I'm not really sure about that. And of course, the last one to appear on stage was He-Man, and the crowd would go crazy.
May I present to you now the most powerful man in the universe. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, He-Man!
Then He-Man and his sister She-Ra, they would banter back and forth, make jokes, something about Beastman having to wear skates and he wasn't happy about it. And then Man-at-Arms would do the national anthem. No, not the American national anthem, Eternia national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you all please stand up and join He-Man and She-Ra as they lead us in our Eternian national anthem.
And then we will meet Songster, the new character of the show. He does a little song, then goes into the backstory of the world of He-Man. Now I'll try to get this right here. Again, this was kind of hard to follow. I read some different blogs of people that went there and saw it. Read some more things about the story, but it's just not easy to explain in a video. Apparently, Hordak went back in time, or maybe he's really old, and he talked to some of the ancient people of Eternia. There he told them that in centuries later, he was going to do some villainous deeds. And the guys there, I guess they didn't believe him. They said, haha, what are you talking about? You'll be dead a century from now. You're ugly, get out of here. They didn't take him seriously. And then, centuries later, he kidnapped Adoria. That was until He-Man was able to save her from not just Hordak, but even from Skeletor. Then He-Man and Adoria, they fight each other, but then the sorceress appears on a video screen on the stage, and lets him know that she has royal blood and that she is the sister of He-Man. Or something like that.
He-Man, do not harm her, for she is of royal blood. The daughter of Granddaughter Marlene and your own true sister, Adora.
So she accepts that she has royal blood and their true identity is She-Ra.
How did you get here? Show yourself.
Where I am is of no consequence. But I warn you, I am very close. She-Ra, come now, listen to me, you muscular mass of virtue.
And then we get into the first act where Skeletor and his evil warriors have arrived. For some reason, Skeletor and his evil warriors, they get into a conflict with He-Man and the good guys. And instead of fighting it out with swords or fists, they decide to have a skating competition.
These power discs, I'm gonna do figure eights all over your face.
I'm not really sure who judged the skating competition or who decided who won and who didn't. I know the ninja-like character, he got kicked out of the contest because he had weapons. Apparently you can't bring your swords in the skating competition. And then Evil Lynn does a skating that's kind of like Walk Like the Egyptian, you know, the Walk Like an Egyptian or whatever it was. Remember that? She skates like that. This is going to be a hard video to get through, guys.
We will win the race today for the glory of Skeletor and Snake Mountain.
Second forward.
After Act 1, during the intermission, we hear Skeletor berating Beastman.
For my stupid, sniveling, skating, little imbecilic army has failed me miserably.
Oh, isn't verbal abuse funny? And then to start the second act, Skeletor appears on a video screen, declaring he is now in control. I guess he won the skating competition. Again, I'm not really sure who got the judges thing. Maybe it was the sorceress, but you think she would just give it to He-Man and his people because she knows they're good? I don't know. I shouldn't look that much into the story. Skeletor forbids the audience to have any interaction with He-Man. And of course, this sets off a chain reactions of little kids screaming, "Boo! Boo!" in the audience. I should have talked about it earlier. It seems that you probably had to buy them, but some of the kids in the audience had the power sword, and they all got to raise their sword. I'm sure the sword wasn't free. They got to raise the sword up and pledge their allegiance to He-Man and Eternia and help them fight Skeletor and Hordak. So here, He-Man, Skeletor says they can't do that. They're not allowed to, interact with He-Man anymore. And the kids get all mad, "Ooh," and stand up and scream and shake their swords at Skeletor. But don't worry, He-Man and his friends did have a plan to take back control. But it seems He-Man's plan just didn't work out. They all got captured, they were about to get killed, or I don't know what was going to happen to them, but apparently Skeletor got them all, and it looked like certain doom, but then all of a sudden, She-Ra appears on top of Castle Grayskull behind this big laser cannon. She-Ra saves the day. She fires the cannon, causing the evil villains to run off, and freeing He-Man and the gang. To celebrate, She-Ra skates around the stage and sings a song. They all go off stage, and then they come back out, but now they're all friendly and they're out of character, but they're still in character, but they're not in fighting character, but they're still He-Man and Skeletor and stuff, but they're meeting the audience, they're shaking hands, and the kids are having a good time. Now, I'm not going to tell you this is worse than the live-action movie. I doubt it. But it sounds pretty bad. But I think if you were a kid growing up in the 80s, if you were really young and you went to see this thing, I think you would have enjoyed it. They made the characters look a lot like the toys, so that probably excited the kids that did have the toy line. Hordak had legs, but I guess there was no way around it back then. Most of the dialogue's all ad-dubbed, so they're just speaking over a recording. Overall, I guess if you were a kid, this was okay. If you went to see it when you were 27 years old by yourself, it probably wasn't all that good. And if it was good, you probably have a lot of other issues you need to work out. Anyway, do you remember the Power Tour in 1986-87? Did you go to it? Were you excited? Like the movie, this seemed to come out a little too late. And we should have had a live-action tour and, of course, a He-Man movie around 1984, 1985, right at the hype of the He-Man craze. Well, who knows? He-Man toys are still in stores today. Keep hearing rumors about a He-Man movie. And then we have 2 He-Man cartoons coming to Netflix. So maybe there's hope we'll finally get that kick-ass He-Man movie that we all dreamed of as a kid. Well, I want to thank you for watching this. In the comments below, let me know, did you go to the Power Tour? Tell me how it was. Maybe you can explain the storyline better than I can. And I'll put some links in the description below so you can read more about it and go more into the story than I did here. I want to thank you for watching. As always, thumb up so I know you like my content. Subscribe to the channel, and we'll talk again soon.
Junkman. Thank you, sir, for that unsolicited testimony.